Hello friend, have you missed me? Are you sure? How much? Because I've missed you. I think it's been 2 years since I last filmed, so feels like my first time. So please expect a lot of shaky things around, but I will try to keep this together. Anyway, how have you been? How is the new year treating you? Have you made your goals yet? Have you made your plans? I think one of the things I had planned for myself this year is to start filming again more seriously. I know things are going to change. I'm not sure how much. I know I still want to tell stories, but I don't know in what format. Will makeup and gist still work? Will it be something else? I don't know. Stick around, let's find out. It's a day before my flight. Yes, I'm taking flights now and I'm catching feelings. I'm cuddling with Bae and I'm just like, oh my god, it's time for Ghana must go. Because again, I am in Nigeria and Bae and I laughed. Ha 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 ha. Okay, that's not the way we laughed, but we laughed. And I think I was like, I know the story of Ghana must go, but I haven't really gotten into it. And you know, like, that's kind of my vibe. I like to know the things. And boy oh boy, the things. We'll be talking about the story of the Ghana must go bag. It's not just a bag, it carries a complex and rich history of migration, xenophobia, resilience, death, and the shared struggles of West Africa. But let's get right into it. Let me take you back to where it all started. It's the 1970s and the golden decade has just arrived. Nigeria was riding high on an oil boom to become one of the wealthiest African economy and country, and that's when they secured the title the Giants of Africa. Fun fact. Nigerians' oil wells was spitting at least 2.3 million barrels a day. So there was an influx of people. Everybody is leaving the villages to head into the city where apparently life is better. And not just people in Nigeria were also moving, people in other neighboring countries. So a lot of people were moving into Nigeria just seeking like better opportunities, job opportunities, and improved life in this flourishing economic hub. While Nigeria was doing well and prospering, its closest English-speaking neighbor, Ghana, no they sit up. We are struggling. Struggle is real. There's a famine, there's a drought. Then to top it off, there was a global crash in the prices of cocoa. At that time, we talk about 1970s, Ghana was the largest producer of cocoa. And again, Ghana had just experienced the coup d'etat of Kwame Nkrumah. So a lot of things is happening in Ghana, and they're like, we might as well move because Nigeria is just here. Nigeria is doing so well. And then they decide, like, obviously, looking for better opportunities, looking for greener pastures. So thousands of Ghanaians then decided to move to Nigeria. Recruiters from Nigeria also moved to Ghana, looking for educated Ghanaians to take up the roles of teachers. So it is said that like there were so many Ghanaians in Nigeria, like if you pick every Ghanaian family, at least every family has one person in Nigeria. Primary and secondary schools were all filled with Ghanaian teachers. You'd have law offices, shoe repair shops, even brothels. Like, immigrants were everywhere in Nigeria. So fun fact, my mom moved to Nigeria as at that time. She was a primary school teacher. I think she was teaching English language. I didn't learn how to speak English, but in the 1980s, Nigeria started facing an economic downturn caused by the falling oil prices. Their largest consumers, United States and Canada, slipped into a recession and demand was low. Then the price of oil started dropping. So in 1980, the price of oil, like a barrel, was like $37, and as at 1983, it had now dropped into like 29. Also, USA started producing their own oil, cutting demand. Now Nigeria was an economy that was extremely reliant on oil. By 1982, 90% of Nigeria's foreign reserves had also been wiped out. It is said that at that time, food prices skyrocketed, salaries were not being paid on time, like everything was just like so difficult for everybody. And to make it all worse, the government also was making poor policy decisions, and the whole country was a mess. As unemployment and inflation grew, so did the tension between Nigerians and immigrants in the country. Now we know how our politicians are. They started to use these immigrants as their scapegoats. They started using the word like the aliens. The aliens are the ones causing the failing economy. The aliens are the cause of all our problems. And bear in mind, like Ghanaians are like majority. Ghanaians were like 1 million plus Ghanaians in Nigeria at that time. It's also an election year, and then the government now started using this as one of their campaign policies, that if you didn't pass the power, we're going to drive out all the aliens in the country. Yeah, just a lot of blame being placed on Ghanaians. Ghanaians had taken all their jobs. Ghanaians are the cause of crime. Like any problem, NEPA has taken lights. It is Ghana. You don't have water. It is the Ghanaians. Sugar is 100 naira. It is the Ghanaians. So the government led by Shehu Shagari now initiated a policy called the Alien Expulsion Order. What this policy was about is just expelling illegal immigrants. And they defined illegal immigrants as people that didn't have the necessary papers to be in the country. In his speech made on January 17, 1983, he said,
"They don't leave. They should be arrested and tried and sent back to their homes. Illegal immigrants, in fact, under normal circumstances, should not be given any notice whatsoever."
So he gave them only 2 weeks. And he's asking people to leave latest by January 31st. Because if you're still in the country by then, you're going to be arrested and put in jail. And to make matters even worse, rumors started spreading around that the government had empowered locals to beat up any Ghanaian they see in the country after January 31st. People are panicking, people are trying to get out. It's just very, very chaotic. How did we get here? Isn't this like an escalation? What's happening? This is where the story gets even more spicy, and we would have to go to 1960 to even understand it. I don't know what's happening, but I keep losing footages. Like, we're gonna start again. Now we're in the 1960s, and Ghana is the place to be. We had a very popular leader at that time, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, a beacon of Pan-Africanism. Everybody just wants to be in Ghana. Does that sound familiar? So Ghana's economy was also doing really well. As I mentioned earlier, we were like the largest producers of cocoa at that time. I think now that's not now, it's probably Cote d'Ivoire, but Ghana was the ish. Nigerians migrated to Ghana in search of a greener pastures, and yeah, everyone is just cohabitating, doing their best. We're 1969. Things have turned. Ghana is going through a whole crisis. We have political instability, the crash in cocoa prices. The Prime Minister at that time, Kofi Abrefa-Busia, also introduced a policy called the Aliens Compliance Order, asking undocumented immigrants to also leave the country. Now, it said that over 2.5 million people had to leave, majority of which were Nigerians. Now, I'm sure you know what's going on here. Nigerians probably like, I don't forget and I don't forgive. So that's what happened. It's like a tit for tat situation. So maybe because then Ghanaians expelled some Nigerians, now Nigerians is also like, you guys got to go. The order came with little warning. Families were scrambling to like pack their entire lives, all the memories they made, all their property, just trying to pack everything and leave. And so they had to sell off the things that they cannot carry, and the things that they had to carry, they had to put them in bags. Now that's where the Ghana Must Go comes in. Now these were like very cheap checkered plastic bags. They came in different sizes, big, medium, small. It's even said that it got to a point where these bags were even sold out in the market. So the term Ghana Must Go now came out because you would see like a lot of like the images, a lot of people now having these bags and trying to leave. I think I need to add a bit more. It looks too much like my skin tone. I'm gonna add some brightness. So millions of people tried to get out by road, any exits that they could essentially find, and you would have like thousands of people camped at the border the semi border in Lagos, because you had to go through Benin, you had to go through Togo before you get to Ghana. And again, majority of these people are Ghanaian, so they had to go through Benin. A year before the mass expulsion, Ghana had just gone through an attempted coup d'etat. The military head of state at that time, Jerry John Rawlings, had closed the borders from Ghana to Togo to prevent insurgents from either escaping or entering into the country. Togo also did not want a situation where now they would have like over 1 million Ghanaians in their country, so they also responded by also closing the borders between Benin and Togo. So this is what's happening: Ghana and Togo border blocked, Benin and Togo border blocked. So all of these migrants were now stuck between Benin and Lagos border. So it's a very, very dicey situation. So you have millions of people stuck here, living in camps, living in their cars, just like see, I cannot, it is a lot. So after weeks being spent at the Togo Benin border, Ghana finally opened their borders with Togo, and Togo in turn opened their borders with Benin, so that the migrants can now come back home. To reduce the traffic by road, Ghana then sent ships to Cotonou so that people can also travel by sea. There was a stampede for people when they were getting into the ship. People fell into the sea. Traveling by the road was also not as safe. So imagine this: there are large articulator tracks, and then you have people's belongings like that, they fill up the track, and then there are no space for people, so people decide to sit by the edges of the track. Now, traveling at night, there are some overhead bridges, right? So people don't see the overhead bridges, and then they are knocked off the bus during the ride. Like there's no clear number of people that lost their lives during this mass exodus. It's safe to say that like a substantial number of people died during this trip. Ghana and Nigeria, I think we have a lot of unresolved issues, and this is evident in the rivalry that we have between who has the best jollof, who has the better music, who has the best musicians. It's like little pockets of things, but it all shows that, like, looking back into our history, there's a lot of unresolved things. And it's even sad because when I was doing the research, apparently Ghana has not apologized to Nigeria for the mass expulsion. Nigeria in turn also hasn't apologized to Ghana for the mass expulsion and the lives that have been lost and everything. And Nigeria even went ahead to expel Ghanaians again. This time I think it was not as large scale as the 1983 one. They expelled Ghanaians in 1985 as well. We need to talk. Ghana and Nigeria, like, what's up? There's a lot of beef there, and until those issues are resolved, I don't think we can really call ourselves one. I know it's been a very chaotic video. Thank you for sticking with me through it all. I haven't done this in 2 years, so please like and subscribe. I think you should also share this video with a friend to spread the knowledge, and let's talk about the Ghana must go. Right, let's talk. Okay.